Hi guys. Hi guys. It's been a minute, huh? Well, I just wanted to say a quick hi to you guys. I always say the same thing. I've been noticing that on my videos. How are you guys doing? It's been a minute. It has been a pretty minute that I haven't seen you guys for a whole week. Oh, I have a bird looking at me. Look, guys. Look at that. Can you see him? It's a bird, a little beautiful little bird. Hi. I don't know, lately I tell you, I have been on this weird spiritual journey. I have been on a strange spiritual journey going on here. This past week I have gone up a level, folks. Wow. And I've really noticed it. I've noticed it. I've noticed it to the point that I just want to, I think it's time to upgrade my channel. I think it's time to upgrade my channel. Oh, look at the 999. Oof, synchronicities, guys. I just keep seeing nines. Nines, and nines. Everywhere. So there's a lot of things going on, I tell you. I have birds all over the place. I don't know if you saw that bird or anything, but lately I've had a lot of birds just around me. Tons of birds just being around me, following me. If I'm sitting somewhere, they're landing next to me. It's amazing. It's a great feeling. I am going to actually kind of start over my channel in a way in talking about my life, how I started out this spiritual journey, how things started to happen for me. I've always been a kind of a spiritual person, couldn't help it. I was brought up in the church. By mom and dad. But it's funny because in the church, I just never felt, I didn't understand it. I didn't get it, And my mom used to be down on me. Get up there on the altar. Go up there to the altar and give your life to Christ. And yeah, I always believed that there was something or someone, some kind of an energy, a powerful energy. But I just didn't look at it the way my parents did or the way my friends did. I used to have friends. I still do. I mean, I'm still pretty good friends with these girls. I have one friend in particular. Her parents were best friends with my parents, and and she just felt everything. I don't know whether she felt it or maybe she did it because her parents told her to. I've always felt that there was some kind of a conflict with something like that with her. Her parents, her father was a pastor, go figure, and her mother was like, she also preached as well. So we used to go to church together, and she used to get up there and get into this Holy Spirit and jumping all over the place. And I was like, wow, I can't feel it. I couldn't feel it. I couldn't feel it at the time from when I was a little girl, and I used to feel guilty for not being able to feel that, and wanting to get up and start doing this crazy dance and flipping over chairs, and I just never felt that. But I always knew there was a presence. I knew there was a higher power. I've always believed in God, but I never believed in religion. And my religion was very strict. It is very strict. I was bounced back and forth, but when I was growing up, I was brought up as a Presbyterian. And I don't think my parents understood. To them, well, at least the good thing about it is that religions weren't very important to them. For them, religions weren't very important to them. I can go anywhere and they'd say, well, you're worshiping God, that's all that matters. That's what my parents used to say. So So I was brought up sort of like going to a Presbyterian church. And then after Presbyterian church, I went to Seventh-day Adventist school. Girl, let me tell you, from Presbyterian worshiping on Sundays and going to church on Saturdays, I went to a Seventh-day Adventist high school. And it was only, I even moved to a different state. So I moved from New York to Massachusetts. Different state altogether, different way of worshiping. And I went because my mother sent me to be with my babysitter, this woman that always took care of me. I used to call her Ma. She passed away, I'd say maybe 3 years ago. But she was an older woman, and she was very, wow. She died when she was 101. You know, she was a good soul. I loved Ma very much, and she lived with her daughters. But they were very strict people, and they were Seventh-day Adventists. So I went to live with them because I went from New York to Massachusetts. New York was very dangerous for an only child like me. I was an only child, so I was brought up with these people, and they took very good care of me. And I got baptized as a Seventh-day Adventist. So I was baptized as a Seventh-day Adventist, but I didn't understand. I was 13 when I got baptized. So then after that, I don't know. What did I... Presbyterian. Yeah, I went to Pentecostal as well. And Seventh-day Adventist. So these are the three religions. And I just... I was just over it with all the religions. It's just too much religion. I never really believed... I don't believe in religion. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. I don't believe in religion. But I do believe in God. I do believe in God. I believe in a higher power. My perspective of God has changed as well. I do believe in an energy that's just so tremendous, so big, so well above what we would ever know or think of. I know that there is an energy, there's a spirit, I believe in God. I call him universal God, but I believe in God. I do. So as I was going through my motions, I've always been kind of a spiritual person because I've been brought up around these type of things, and not the way they wanted me to be, but yeah, I was brought up around God, of course. I even sang. Yeah, I sang in Seventh-day Adventist school. I was the number one singer in my school. I used to get all these awards, and I was recognized at we used to have this thing called music clinic, and all the best singers at all of the Seventh-day Adventist schools used to get together and have like a big concert. It was like, they teach us how to play or sing better, sort of like American Idol, you know what I mean? Where you go to like the special school and they teach you how to be versatile and all that stuff. Yeah, sort of like that. So that's how my school was. I loved my school, to be honest with you. So going from that, making a long story short, when I started having my kids, I got together with my husband. I met my husband. My husband also, I guess maybe being programmed the way I was kind of programmed, I'd say. Being programmed the way I was, I got together with a man whose family was very religious as well. His father, he didn't know who his father was, but his grandfather was a bishop. And I just figured that maybe he was someone that I could bring home to mama, because his family was very religious. He used to have his family was very big, and they used to have this group called the Famous Mitchells. And he used to go around the country and sing at churches, and his grandfather was a bishop, and they had this status and prestige about them, had to do a church. And I said, well, my mom would pretty like that. And I liked it. I loved him too. Well, I thought I did. Yeah, back then I did. Yes, I did. I did. He was a singer. was incredible. My husband's an incredible singer. And I say my husband because I'm still married to him. We're separated, okay? But he is one of the best singers that I've ever known in my life. It was like being married to Prince, you know? That's how he sings. And Prince was his idol. But he wasn't religious. You know, him and I were kind of like the same, on the same level. So then we used to sing together. We met out here in Spain. I came here to do this big show. So being an only child, I left behind my parents. You know, my parents wanted a better life for me. So I left actually my parents when I was 15 years old. I've always been on the travel, just traveling everywhere. I went from New York to Massachusetts. From Massachusetts, drove all the way to California on my own, girl. Went to California, lived in California for 4 years. Then I went and I lived in Florida. And then from Florida, came here to Spain. And I've been here ever since. I've been here since 1993. I've been here a long darn time, okay? I'm talking about a long time. I came here in 1993. And, and I mean, I loved it ever since I stayed. Obviously, I must have loved it, right? It's really beautiful here. It's a beautiful island. So, they always say that something always happens for a reason, right? So I came here and been going through a lot of little things. You know, it's all started off, I think, when my mother and my father... No, excuse me. It started off with 9/11. Yes. My spirituality started off at 9/11, okay? All right. I was here when 9/11 happened. I was pregnant with my son. Wow, I was pregnant with my son. Today is my son's birthday. Woo woo, my son's birthday. He's 18 today. I can't believe it. My baby. Man, he's not a baby anymore. He's a man. But I was pregnant with my son. And I remember somebody told me about Nostradamus. And I just found his story to be fascinating. I did, you know. So I remember going on the internet, which back in the day was like extremely slow. And I went and I got onto the internet and I was doing some research on him. And somebody had even given me the movie of Nostradamus. And so I was watching it and doing some research on him. And I remember, was it September 10th, being on the internet looking up Nostradamus. And I just found it fascinating, the predictions that he made. I remember one in particular about, he was talking about a bird crashing into, an iron bird crashing into two gigantic poles that was reaching out to the heavens. Okay? And I'm saying, wow, that is crazy. I wonder what he meant by that. This is like September 10th, guys, okay? So, I'm like wondering, what the hell does he mean by that? A silver bird, a metal bird, he says, a steel bird crashing into two steel poles reaching up to the heavens. The next day, girl, 9/11 happened. And I remember freaking out because I was pregnant, first of all, and most of my peeps are in New York. I was born in New York. You know, my best friend worked in the Twin Towers. I didn't even tell you guys that I was a financial news reporter back in the day. I used to work for Reuters. And I was a financial news reporter. So most of the people that I got my information from were the traders and the stockbrokers that worked in the trade center. So I lost a lot of people back then, you know, but my best friend, thank God she made it. She's okay. For some reason, her boss moved her out of the work environment a week before 9/11 happened. But anyway, I was freaking out. because also my mother and father were going to the doctor down the street from the World Trade Center. So I was like freaking out, worried about my parents. I remember that, being so worried about them and trying to call them and I couldn't get through. And then I remembered doing research on Nostradamus the night before. And I said, oh my God, let me go back and read that. I remember it says something about an iron bird crashing into two poles, reaching up to the heavens. And I went back, and girl, did you know that Nostradamus, all of the information on Nostradamus was gone? Wiped out completely off the internet. Now, yes, I was devastated about 9/11. But I was devastated about 9/11, but I was more devastated and concerned that all of Nostradamus's information was wiped off the internet. I looked everywhere for it. It was gone. Gone. All right? Gone. It was gone. I could not believe it. I was just completely, I said, my God, that's what he was talking about. An iron bird crashing into two gigantic poles reaching up to the heavens. And it was just weird when I saw that everything was gone, and it just kind of like clicked with me. I said, oh my God, that's what he was talking about. He predicted this day. And it's strange enough that I saw this for myself. Yeah. Can you imagine? So that was my first wake-up call. That's the day that I awoke. I was awakened. I could never go back from that day. When I knew something was behind 9/11 before anybody ever started talking about it. Because I knew something was wrong. Boy, did that wake me up. So, as I went by and I went on and on and on, and I'm like, wow, every day I would check. After each day, I would check on the internet to see if anything came up about Nostradamus. Anything else came up about Nostradamus. Anything. I looked. Lo and behold, a month later, all the stuff came back up about Nostradamus. But they changed all of the wording. They gave him a different legacy. They said that he was a crack. He was a kook. That it was some crazy guy. They completely degraded him and took away everything that they said, anything good that they said about him. I was like in shock. I said, that's when I knew something was going on. And that was the day that I awakened. That was my first time where things just started, my mind just started to click, and I said, something's not right here. Just a bad feeling inside, but anyway, this is getting like a little bit too long. I'm going to have to do a second part to this. Because it's getting really quite too long, and I have so much to say. I just want you guys to know where I began with my spirituality, with my spiritual journey. I need to tell my story. Because I have an incredible story to tell. And nobody knows it. And I just realized yesterday, I said, nobody knows where I'm coming from. There's so much to it. On my journey, how did I get to the Moldavites? And, oh yeah, let me show you guys. Look at that. That's what I made, guys. Isn't that pretty? This is the Libyan desert glass. And I made that myself. So I'm beginning to sell my jewelry. Isn't that pretty, guys? I love it. Well, I'm going to have to call you guys back. I'll call you guys back. And I'll call you back. I'm saying that because my daughter's calling me. That's funny. I see that she's calling me. But anyway, I'm going to make a part 2 to this. Probably have to do a part 3 because it's pretty long, guys. It's pretty long. And tell me if you guys have what experiences you guys have had as well. All right. All right, I'm going to sign off, and we're going to have a part 2 to this. Remember, I'm the last thing that I mentioned was the World Trade Center, 9/11. All right, and I'm going to shout out to my little son today. My little son, my God, he's 6'3". My big son, my 18-year-old man boy. Happy birthday, baby! I love you. 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 As my dad used to say, "Me love you. Me love you. Me love you." I love you so much, son. And I cannot believe that you are a man today. You've been a man for a long time. Okay, guys. You guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Peace, love, and blessings to you. Bye.